Welcome to my channel. Timeless narrative. The company had originally thought Mir Qasim would be a perfect puppet, someone they could easily manipulate. However, much to their surprise, he proved to be far more independent and assertive than they had anticipated. A particularly contentious issue arose when Ram Narayan, the deputy governor of Bihar, refused to comply with repeated requests by Mir Qasim to submit the revenue accounts for Bihar. This blatant defiance of his authority was something the Nawab could not tolerate. Yet, despite his growing frustrations, Ram Narayan enjoyed the protection of English officials in Patna, making any attempts to discipline him nearly impossible. Further exacerbating tensions were the abuses surrounding the company's Dastag, its trade permit, which exempted goods from duties. The misuse of this permit was widespread among company officials and caused significant losses in tax revenue for Mir Qasim. Local merchants were at a severe disadvantage, as they were forced to compete with the company's privileged merchants who exploited the Dastag system for their private trade. The situation worsened when company servants, instead of adhering to the intended spirit of the duty-free system, sold Dastags to Indian merchants for a commission, using coercive methods to acquire goods at discounted rates. Mir Qasim's response was swift and decisive. He sought to abolish duties altogether. But the British protested vehemently, demanding that they continue to receive preferential treatment over other traders. This dispute over transit duties and trade privileges ultimately led to war in 1763, pitting Mir Qasim against the English forces. The subsequent battles, fought at Katwa, Murshidabad, Giria, Suti, and Munja, resulted in a series of defeats for the Nawab, forcing him to flee to Awadh, Oudh, for refuge. In a desperate bid to reclaim Bengal, Mir Qasim formed an alliance with Shuji-ud-Daulah, the Nawab of Awadh, and Shah Alam II, the Mughal emperor. Together, they hoped to challenge the growing power of the English in India. However, on October 22, 1764, their combined forces faced a crushing defeat at the Battle of Buxar against the English under Major Hector Munro. The battle was closely contested, but the English emerged victorious, cementing their dominance not only in Bengal, but also in northern India. The aftermath of the battle was a turning point in the history of British India. Not only was Mir Qasim's authority shattered, but the defeat also marked a significant blow to the Mughal emperor and the Nawab of Awadh. The English, having proven their military superiority, now set their sights on consolidating their power across India. After the battle, Mir Jafar, who had been replaced by Mir Qasim in 1763 due to deteriorating relations with the company, agreed to hand over several important districts, Midnapore, Burdwan, and Chittagong, to the English to help fund their military presence. The company was also granted duty-free trade in Bengal, with only a small salt duty remaining. The new Nawab, Najim-ud-Daulah, was a mere figurehead, as real power in Bengal lay with the English-appointed Naib Subadar, who could be dismissed or replaced at their whim. In August 1765, Robert Clive, the architect of British expansion in India, brokered two crucial treaties in Allahabad, one with Nawab Shuji-ud-Daulah of Awadh and the other with Shah Alam II. The treaty with Awadh saw Shuji-ud-Daulah surrender Allahabad and Kara to the Mughal emperor and pay 50 rupees lakh to the company as a war indemnity. In return, Balwant Singh, the Zamindar of Banaras, was granted full control over his estate. The treaty with Shah Alam II effectively made the emperor a puppet under British protection. The emperor agreed to cede control of Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa to the company in exchange for an annual payment of 26 rupees lakh, while the company took on military and administrative responsibilities in the provinces for a sum of 53 rupees lakh. These agreements were strategic for the English. Clive had no desire to annex Awadh, as it would have required the company to defend a long, vulnerable border. Instead, he ensured that Awadh remained a neutral buffer state. With Shah Alam II, Clive saw an opportunity to gain legal recognition for the company's territorial gains. The Mughal emperor, though technically in charge, had little real power and merely rubber-stamped the company's rule. Meanwhile, Mir Qasim, once a powerful ruler of Bengal, spent his remaining years in misery. Stripped of his position and humiliated by the defeat, he wandered homeless until his death in June 1777. No history of British rule in India would be complete without acknowledging Robert Clive's pivotal role in shaping the fate of the subcontinent. Clive, who had started his career as a clerk, was instrumental in laying the foundations of British dominance in India. He served as the governor of Bengal twice, first from 1757 to 1760 and again from 1765 to 1767. During his time in power, he oversaw the establishment of the dual government system in Bengal, which allowed the company to control the region while ostensibly leaving the Nawab in charge. However, Clive's career ended in scandal, and in 1774, he reportedly took his own life in England, though the details surrounding his death remain uncertain.